Hello, peoples. Welcome back to The Wonder Show. Thank you for joining us and being here. Another beautiful, wonderful day. It's getting to that cold weather. A lot of colors out there. Got a chance to spend some time outside today. So if you get a chance, go get your vitamin D and catch some rays. So last show, I do want to reflect a little bit about the last show as I kind of started getting the habit of doing that. The last show I thought was really well. Some of the resources that we had, one of the family members or one of the parents that logged in, she validated one of the resources for her teenager. So we're going to make sure we get that back up today so you can kind of see. It's a Sacramento resource, and we want to highlight a lot of resources. But I thought some of the exercises were worthy, and people shared some really good things. So if you didn't see that episode, you can go back into Sacramento Artist Corps and check it out, or Nosearte, or Latino Center of Arts and Culture, and check out the last couple of shows, including all the other live streamers that we got going on. Okay? And we got a couple of hellos. Mayra. Hello, Mayra. Thank you for tuning in. Lorena. Thank you, Lorena. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And so thank you all for tuning in and for your hellos. And again, keep those chats coming if you have any questions throughout this time. We do have a special guest, Sergio from Barrio Cafe, locally here in Sacramento. And before I bring him in, we're going to take care of some of our house duties, or what do you call them? Forgot what the term is, but you know what I mean. So like every show, I do want to make sure I put down some resources that are useful for us during this time, this pandemic. I know it's not easy for everybody, and in some cases, some of the time we do need some help. And if you do need some help, we do have a National Suicide Prevention Hotline down there. Okay, again, it's just maybe a last resort. But again, if you don't have a family member or a friend you think you can reach out to, there's strangers, potentially friends right there that can help you out. If you just need an ear, a lot of times to just get those ideas and thoughts out of your head and talk it out. I think that's been helping, at least me. I can say that by experience that talking these things out, talking your worries out helps. And so there's a hotline right there. And for everything federal, national, what's going on with the pandemic, dcd.gov, check it out. Okay, if you want to know what's going on the federal level, and they have some resources there, even including how to help yourself with your mental health. And they have resources there for veterans and all types of groups and organizations on the federal level, but more specifically Sacramento, dhs.saccounty.net. Check them out. They have everything local, Sacramento area, Sacramento County, that can help us as far as testing sites, mental health for your areas, resources and all that good stuff, okay? So give them some love right there. And a couple of personal ones I want to shout out. So something I've been noticing, I-5 has been crazy with a lot of construction. There's a lot of new stuff going on. And I had the opportunity to work on the Be Work Zone Alert campaign some years ago, and it's still going on, but I think it's a worthy campaign. And there's a move over law being that if you see a construction site, you see those cones, slow down, or if you can, move over to the next lane safely. Okay, we want to make sure everybody gets home safe. And it's cold out there, man. People are distracted. So, let's do what we can to make sure all those Caltrans workers who are working hard out there during this time to get back home to their young ones and to their families. Okay? And my last little shout out, shop small local businesses. And if you have any local businesses or artists, you can shop artists too. We got a lot of local artists who are selling a lot of goods, handmade things, mind made things. And so shout them out and put them in the chat box so we can put them out there too, put their name, put their Instagrams, whatever it is, so that we can support and keep the money here in Sacramento, right? At this time, I mean, winter is always a tough time for local businesses and small shops, and let's not make it even harder with this pandemic. And we can kind of help them out by either buying a gift card, buying a little item, whatever it is, or I even encourage you to take it a step further and make your own gifts this year, right? That's a very, very strong possibility too, okay? So thank you so much for sticking with me on the housekeeping. Now, on to the show. So let me give you a little introduction, a little bio of my guest. So 25 years ago, a Mexican dude with nerd-like qualities and a white girl with questionable background from the hood got together and found that they had in sync culinary ideals. He was raised in a Mexican bakery, and she was an aspiring chef. They later opened a business in downtown called Fluid Espresso Bar, and they grew that business into a very successful little shop with the micro bakery and some cool creations like empanadas and signature coffee drinks. If you haven't seen them, they're right across the street from the Capitol Park. After slaving away for 14 years, they got tired of bumping into each other in the tiny shop and decided that they needed more space, as couples do. So they encountered the location where the Brick Oven Pizza resided for 30 years, and they asked themselves, what kind of nut jobs would open a business in a blighted shopping center with so many problems? You're about to meet them. And they replied, we would. They really wanted a community-based business that would be a great neighborhood hangout and a place for local art and farm-to-fork eating. Barrio, they thought. What a great name. So they applied all their blood, sweat, and tears and money, lots of money. It's been 4 years since they opened Barrio, and they cleaned up that shopping center and welcomed the community with open arms and all kinds of worldly pastry, food, and beverage creations. I know I saw that place open because it was on my way to work, and I was happy to see that there's a nice little coffee shop right there, so close to home. So yeah, so we'll get to hear a lot about it. So here he is, the man himself, Sergio. Welcome, Sergio. Thank you for being on the Wonder Show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so Sergio, he's the owner. I called you part owner yesterday on my post because, I don't know, it's a family-owned place.
It is a farm.
Um,
I am. There's basically my wife, my daughter, and myself, and isn't that order?
and no part, you guys split the meat like that too. You guys split all
Yeah.
the food like that. So, so if you can tell us a little bit about how you kind of got to this place, let's call it pre-COVID, and how you got, you know, your business started, or how this all came to be.
Well, I'm going to give you the short story because I'm 63 years old. So my experience with being a baker goes back to when I was 7 years old and my father opened his first bakery. I used to sleep in the sacks of flowers, in Mexico. So throughout story of successes and failures, we found our way into the United States. My father opened a donut shop in Green Haven, and while I was going to college at UC Davis, I helped him with the day-to-day base, things of it. And I went with my own stuff, got a computer, um, work experience, worked for an airline, worked for UC Davis for years, and at some point I reached my, it's called the Peter principle, which is where you achieve your degree of incompetence, and so I didn't want to be a manager for a IT organization. So I took my whatever pension thing is this, and I opened a little coffee house on the corner of 10th and P. It was called River City Bakery in the late 80s. Then I met Melissa in 1997, and we decided to do several things, and eventually we settled with Fluid, which is at the corner of 13 and N. And we opened a little, like you said, a little micro brewery. I mean, micro coffee house, bakery slash lunch items. And as we grew up, those 400 square feet of a business that we had wasn't enough, so we decided to grow. So in 2016, we started looking for a place, and we found this location, which is at 35th and Land Park Drive. And it was nothing was open, supermarket was open, everything was open. There was some uh, bad things going on in the neighborhood with the shopping center. But we decided to take it with our landlady, and which has been wonderful landlady. And we cleaned up the area, did some remodeling, put things together, and in September of 2016, we opened what's now is called Barrio. You know, it was a struggle at the beginning, but amazingly enough, the neighborhood has been great. We have a lot of support from our neighbors and our customers, and even from people from the original barrio, which is at 13 and N. We get we've been able to survive and make it and metamorphosis with it. It has gone from a little coffee house and pastries to a place where we can sell lunch items, empanadas, and do some good work for the community. So and that's
Yeah,
where we are.
yeah, I've noticed that. I mean, the more and more I go, the more familiar faces I see. Even though if I don't know them personally, I think it's you either see people either walking in or riding their bike in, or it's just a lot of neighborhood people, and I think it's a
Yeah,
nice neighborhood to be a part of, and in general, and even a couple of uh, what do you call them, ambulance. They came in and they found their new favorite spot, and they came in today again, and I think
yeah,
it's becoming like a staple in the community.
yeah. We have a great number of customers who come from the police department down on Freeport, the fire department, both the one on Freeport and the one over in on what is it, Gloria Drive. They come and visit us. So it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling that you are part of the community, and you also can provide something for the community. We've been open to um, town hall meetings. A couple of the council members have held meetings here. The ACLU has held meetings here. We're always open to things like that. It's good to not just be a business, but actually feel like we are a part of the community as it's happened to us.
Yeah, I mean, even to say you featured or you presented one of the debates recently, and then I'll remember driving by or riding by one time, and there is an orchestra practicing in there, and it's
Yes,
nice to see. It's almost like a community center that one can depend on like that.
yes, there was a string group who didn't have a place to practice. So we close at 5, and I said, you guys can have the place any day of the week, after 5 p.m. So they chose Wednesday, and they used to practice here. They had a couple, I can't remember the name of the group, but it was great because sometimes I'd be here working, making pastries, and it was entertaining to watch them go from, okay, guys, we're gonna have to learn this piece, and then how they practice until they got it right. And it's like, wow, how music evolves. I became good friends
Yeah,
with the director, so it's good.
good, good. And so I'm gonna put the information down there. So if you need to know where it's at, the number's right there, and we'll get into like how you can kind of get connected with Barrio for business. Um, So moving on to let's talk about a little bit about what's been like during this pandemic. What has been the whole process and the changes, and how'd you survive during this whole time, and how are you surviving during this time?
Well, the word pandemic usually means not good at all. So, however, we have developed this callousness about it. When people ask me how is business, I go, COVID-19 is good. That means that things drop. they're not what they used to be. But yet, now that we are on this new business environment, we've been able to, if not succeed, at least survive and plan for the future. I think one of the things that it's important in a business from uh, any perspective is your hope for the future. You know, the hope that it's going to work, that we are going to be, no matter how much hard work you're doing currently, that eventually it's going to pan out and it's going to, be better. Uh, you know, you have to do some reshuffling with your, not only your income, your expenditures, your plans for the future, hiring, things like that. We've been lucky to have support from the city. They helped us with the PPP protection. Uh, so and then we were involved in a program called Great Meals, Great Place, sorry, which the city provides senior citizens at risk or senior citizens who are alone to you know to get a meal, uh, you know, 5 days a week. So we were hired, we were contacted by them, and it paid the bills. We are able to have a total of 14 employees, part time, full time, all together, and kind of keep our payroll still active. We only had a couple of people who decided not to come back to the business because of COVID-19 concerns, and so most of our crew is working. So overall, I think we are pretty lucky to be where we are right now. I've seen some other businesses, close, um, be shut down for maybe for the duration of the COVID-19, maybe forever. But we're able to provide, you know, a service to the community, and we'll continue to do so.
Yeah, and I think I had the opportunity to see that Great Plates program at work. So I remember being there one time and seeing the you all kind of taking out a whole mess of plates, or not plates, excuse me, like boxes full of food, and a bus was there to cart it off. And actually I looked up that Great Plates program, and aging.ca.gov/COVID-19. There's a whole lot of resources for our elderly community, for help with whatever, uh, transportation, whatever it is. So please take a look at that if there's an elderly person that you know that could help out, or needs help. So that is a great program, and I'm glad you guys were a part of that. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and so we got a couple of comments. Lorena says, "Wow," she says, "at Sacramento. Do you mean if Barrio's in Sacramento?" And
Yes,
and
we
if
are.
it,
Oh,
yeah, no, if anybody has any questions for Sergio, put them in the comments, and we'll show them off, and so that way we can get you that info, especially if it pertains to business and how's business around here. Um, if you can talk a little bit, let me get this out.
mhm.
Oh, also I see, you guys worked with NorCal Resists. You guys had a barrel out there. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we did. We there's people from NorCal Resists came over and they asked us if they could put a barrel for donations. Um, Basically, they're most of the donations go to people who, like in the restaurant business. A lot of restaurants cut down their personnel. Some construction ceased to work, and so all those people were unemployed. EDD, as you have seen the news, hasn't been exceptionally stellar about providing for an insurance unemployment. So all these people have been suffering for just the basic necessities. So we have the it was a barrel, and it will fill just about every day. I mean, our the support from the community was amazing. This woman came over and she basically emptied a minivan of bags of groceries. All of them identical. Just about maybe 4 or 5 days of groceries for each bag. 4 or 5 days. They were like maybe 20, 25 bags. We fill up the container, we put them on the floor. The next day, one of the people from the organization came over and picked them up and says, "Who did this?" And I go, "I don't know. She didn't want to leave her name." Uh, it's amazing. It's amazing how people come and they work every day. They don't do anything for anybody, but when something like this happens, their hearts and their wallets open up for those who they don't even know. They don't even know who they are. So it was absolutely amazing. It has dwindled a little right now, so they moved it to another location. But we're trying to get our own. We have a couple of customers who want to tell me, hey, how much would it take for you to produce meals for Meals on Wheels or something like that? And I go, well, I can do X number of things for X number of dollars. So they're willing to write a check, and I said, just let me get together, let me get all the things together, and we'll do it. We don't have to charge for the labor. It'll basically be buying the ingredients, put them up together. We have the containers. We can ship them. We can take them to whoever, and we're just hoping that somebody like Loaves and Fishes or like I said, Meals on Wheels. Um, there's another organization in the Delta where they feed people who are work on the farm, and right now they're out of work, and unfortunately because of their legal status, they don't receive a lot of help. And we can help them. Whatever we can do to help them. I gave up my dream of buying my Bentley. So a long a long time ago. So we just want to be good to the community.
No, and I'm gonna put you on a pedestal a little bit. So I think the when this pandemic hit, one of the first things you came up to me and kind of asked me about was how can we get the kids who aren't getting those meals at their local schools that they usually they're relying on. How can we get them to Barrio? How can we organize something for them to keep learning and stuff like that? So I think it's a sign that you're always thinking about the community and including teaming up with NorCal Resist and putting that barrel out there. And I looked up NorCalResist.org, and they have a lot of really cool, interesting resources. As they have brake light repair because they don't want anybody to get pulled over just for a brake light, and so
Right.
they can help you with that. They have a community fix it program where they can help you with the household repairs, deportation defense, and asylum workshops. So they're just a really cool resource.
Yeah. If anybody is like that, and they just want to come over here, I got a tons of tools here, so we can fix the lights. We can do whatever. The most important thing is for people to survive to the next stage, whatever the stage is. Whether you're here undocumented or whether you're here, whatever, if you can avoid that, like you say, getting pulled over because of traffic light, tax, whatever, they can come over and talk to me. I'm always here, and we can try to help them. My wife and I and my daughter, we're always trying to figure out, how can we do more? How can we do more? I think it's important. I think it's important that we all participate in this, and um, at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, I benefit if my community is better off. Rather than just having, I'm just thinking about myself. I think everybody benefits whenever it participates in whatever problem the community has.
Yeah, and just so people know too, that Barrio Cafe has stayed open throughout this whole pandemic or this whole time, and they've followed the regulations. They've done everything they can in order to make it still people friendly and including warmers. So there is outside seating, but the warmers are out there and they're ready for you to still enjoy your meal out there. And I recommend the downtown Barrio. And everybody that has tried it has given the thumbs
Everybody
up. And yeah, I
yes
love
or
that
yeah.
sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about one of your little shout outs that you kind of gave. I think this is important. I mean, however much you want to share, but the Covered California, you wanted to give a shout out to Covered California.
Yes, I think that I'm really thankful that covered California dot com has not only provided insurance to those who fall in into people who cannot get insurance provided by their employment, or people who make a little more money than being in medical, med- yeah, medical. Um, uh, it's an organization that was created after Obama created the Affordable Care Act. Um, it has it has some problems at the beginning, but now it's working flawless. Um, People like me who, when we had the business, we put all our money into it. Business weren't being successful and everything. Um, my average insurance would have been about $1,900. I have some preconditions, and so thanks to the Affordable Care Act, my insurance runs about $200 a month, something like that. So I got sick. I had cancer, and I'm type 1 diabetic and everything. And so for 2019, 2020, my total cost, if I don't have insurance to survive, just to have survived all those things, would have been in the $200,000 range. Because of the insurance, because COVID California, I'm down to maybe $1,500. And the beauty about it is the company of Mercy can actually take payments if if you don't have all the money to pay, but you don't have all this insurmountable amount that you cannot pay. It's amazing what they can do. Some people get turned off to apply for it because of the paperwork, this, that, or the other. Maybe they don't, but the people in Cover California, they're great. They'll try to help you. You can tell them, hey, I'm here legally. I'm here this. I'm here the other. I don't work full time. I work in the the underemployment. People pay me under the table. Whatever your situation is, they will be there to help you to get insurance rather than try to prosecute you for the things that you are doing wrong. They just want you to have a way of getting health coverage. And that's my shout out. They're absolutely great.
That's a good shout out. And your wife kind of seconded that and said, like, if it wasn't for Cover California, Sergio wouldn't be here. And I
Yep.
think, based on your heart and how you are as a person, and even as the locals and the regulars come, you can already tell, like, you're a staple in the community. You matter when you come in because you're there to greet them. You're there cleaning tables, saying what's up, taking your time to talk to everybody. So it's just it shows what kind of person you are to shout, Covered California or these type of businesses and resources. And I do want to say for them, they have open enrollment through January 31st of 2021. So go check them out.
Yes.
And now going back to the business, looking forward, now, is there anything that you have planned looking forward, or what's there to expect maybe the next couple months
I'm,
as far ahead as you can
I'm
think of
sorry.
right now?
You completely cut up. Uh,
Oh, I'm asking, looking forward, what is there to look forward to as far as business wise, for Barrio?
well, a vaccine would be nice to COVID-19. Uh, well, we're going to come January. We're going to start doing some meals. We decided that our empanadas are good, and so
Yeah.
we're gonna have maybe a couple of days for like TGIF, a combination of empanadas, and we do offer a selection of beers and wine. So have something like that for them. Um, I'm trying to organize a. We do have a nice parking space that we can use as a, uh, you know, scenario or showroom or something. So right now, one of the first things that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my employees, which are wonderful. Most of them are from the performing arts. I have a couple of actors, a producer, a writer, and we're trying to get us a Christmas story or something to be shown at the parking lot, and it'll be with the safety guidance, 6 feet, for the audience, and um, you know clean up all that stuff, cordon them up, all the things that need to be done. So we meet the CDC, guidelines. And after that, the place is always open. I have spoken to the police department if they want to open, we want to do a town hall meeting regarding relationship with the community or something. We can fit about 100 people in a parking lot without any issues of, of safe space. So of course right now with the spike, it probably less. But as far as us, we're going to reopen the downtown location. It's been closed since July. And just just do what we do. Pastries and coffee, and maybe towards the end of the year, 2021, maybe we'll have our own roaster and we can roast our own coffee. Move our do our goodwill things to areas in Mexico where we can go buy coffee from a small community and just basically bring it here and says, hey, Southland Park people, you can help this little community in Oaxaca. If you buy coffee from us, it's good coffee. It's not cheap coffee. It's good quality and everything. And we can, they're getting paid like $1 per pound. And by the end of the day, when you make an espresso, you make a coffee drink or something, you're selling that thing for about $16, $17 a pound. So you're making an incredible amount of profit, between the distributor, the carrier, all that stuff. So we can do that directly, and we can participate and say, we'll take 30, 40% of that. We'll put it in the community of Oaxaca. We'll put it in the community of Veracruz. I think that our neighbors will be proud to say, hey, I contributed to that. I bought a pound of coffee, and it cost me same price as a regular market. Half of it, or 30% or 40% goes to a community because we'll take it there. We'll make sure that it goes there. Unlike some other things that get distributed in the administration fee. So those are the things that I dream about. Also I want to play cello, but that's a different story.
Well, that's nice to, again, just another example of this pattern of you thinking of community and how you can, how your place, how Barrio Cafe, the Barrio family can help out the community outside of there. And so, like, everything you've been talking about is not about the business; it's about the community, which I think is beautiful. And just to give a shout out before we kind of round this off towards the end, I want to make sure we shout out. Let me find them right here. Sorry, I'm going on through my little.
I, I have one
You
thing
got?
to add.
Yeah,
One
please.
thing to add. What if you guys have any ideas of what we can do, how we can be better, we're always open. You guys can always see me here walking back and forth. Just grab me and say, "Hey, Sergio, I have this idea," or you know, um, or send us an email. Barrio Sacramento at gmail.com. We're always looking for you know ideas. You know, uh, you know, advice, things like that. From anybody,
Well,
or they have a cause that they want to, you know, to help us with it. We're always open to things like that.
beautiful. And I got one question, I guess, talking about that before we get to that. So the source, again, this is the parent last week who thought about this for her teenage daughter, and she says that this is a good resource because again, this is a source specifically for youth and their mental health, so they can call or they can also text. Because I know at times maybe it's hard to call, and texting, we're so used to texting. It's just another little avenue to kind of get to them and get them some help. So there, we'll have this resource on for the rest of the time. And now talking about that, about ideas, can you, just to kind of end off
You
this whole thing, is there
gotta do it
any
again. It cut
so
off.
just to end off this
Bye.
just to end off the show, or kind of take it home, is there any tips or ideas you can maybe give people out there about business? Any sort of consejos that you want to give them to open up or
I,
start a
I,
business?
I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it cut off again. So
Is there any consejos you can give to anybody who wants to start a business out there?
yes. So here's the thing. Think of all the negative things that are going to be happening if you open a business. Every single bad thing that you can think of. Less time with your family, working really hard, not have enough money, bureaucratic red tape. Think of all those things and putting them in your scale. And at the end of the day, if your dream is heavier than all those things, then go for it. Follow it because things will work out. No matter how no matter how pessimistic you may think that things can be, the idea of fulfilling your dream is a stronger force than all those obstacles. They will be there. They will be there for you, and don't I'm not telling you that it's not going to be there, but once you grab that dream, and you decide that that's what you want to do, it's like having a chisel and a hammer. You just chip at it every day. Every day you chip at it and you chip at it, and eventually that dream becomes a reality. You know, you don't have to be Jeff Bezos to you just have to be a guy who wants to open or a woman who wants to open. Especially women. Women need to fulfill their dreams. There's a lot of very intelligent, very capable women who sometimes just because they feel like this is not a woman's place, you know, they shy away from the idea of being entrepreneurs. But they're very capable. I mean, my wife is absolutely capable in more ways than I am. I'm just a baker. I don't do paperwork. I don't do payroll. I don't do golf for it. I mean, if I do payroll, if I do payroll, I would have gone to jail for for not fulfilling all the requirements. And she does all these things. So women need to go and say, I can do this. In Rwanda, after the massacres, women took over the businesses and the politics and everything, and it's a better country now than it was before because of them. You know, so I think you should follow your dreams, and yes, you should always consider the the the, the obstacles. But like I said, if your dream is heavier than those, go for it, do it.
Very well. And speaking of your wife, Melissa and Sofia, the one we don't see them here, but they are a big part of that team at the Barrio family. And one shout out that Melissa wanted me to give was Marja Elala. I'm not sure how they say it. The hair salon. They are by
Yes,
appointment only. You can
yes.
find her on Facebook and Instagram, and there's a phone number. And so yeah, by appointment only. They are being COVID safe, so hit them up. They're down over there on 917 7th Street in down town. And you can also find Barrio Cafe, Instagram and Facebook. But also the information is down there on the ticker as as it was, but it's not anymore. There it goes right there. So yeah, so hit up Barrio Cafe again or come by and say what's up to Sergio. And just this is not going to be long lasting, but we do they do have pies if you need
Yes, we
pies
do.
for your events or for your holidays, even if it's just yourself. You can find yourself a pie and order it, but you only have until Monday, tomorrow. Unless you see this afterwards, then you're way too late. So you can order one of those and get yourself a nice pie for the holidays if you do plan
That
on getting with the family.
that boozy bourbon pie pecan, it's a little boozy. It's a little boozy. I tell you, it's good. It's a really good pie. So all of them are good.
Yeah, and as far what I heard from Sofia, she makes custom cakes. So if you have a custom cake you want to make for somebody, then Sofia, who's the youngest one of the owners, she goes hard with the cakes.
Yes, she does. Okay.
Yeah. So with that, let me give my little shout out. So thank you to the Sacramento Artist Corps. You can follow them on Facebook and Instagram to see what's going on with all the streamers and all not only streamers, but there's a lot of good projects going on. There's a lot of live shows, and so please go check them out. And you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook as Nosearte and Nosearte Life on YouTube. And thank you, Sergio, for coming on. If you
Thank
could
you for
stick around
having
for,
me.
if you could stick around for a bit, and then we'll give our really good goodbyes. But thank you all for tuning in. Again, go check out Barrio Cafe. Show some love. Again, support local, please. You can buy some gift cards there. and gift it to somebody, and they can use it for the rest of their time. And they got some swag there too. Your barrio swag. All right. So thank you again, Sergio, and then everyone else. We'll see you. We're on our way.
Thanks.
This is a wonder show. I wonder how the show